everybody, Thy Lord Root here, and welcome back to another episode of Back to Basics. It's been quite a bit since I've actually been able to do anything with this. But you know, with KSP 1.0 coming out in a couple of days, I just couldn't resist finishing up some loose ends. So one of the things I do want to take care of today that I keep on putting off is exploring Eve. Something that we should be able to easily do and that will bolster our science quite a great deal. We'll get 90 just out of that. That'll be good. But we'll also want to get ITS Eris to Minmus as well. Now, we happen to have plenty of science points here. And you know, I think for now it would be good for us to unlock these structural parts here because the cubic octagonal structs are massless. That could be good for us. We could do some landing legs or something like that. And then in addition to that, we also have to put a couple of things into orbit here, into geosynchronous orbit at least. And that can be easily done as well. If we go to this guy here, we will want to have this, you know, orbital inclination here. So, what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to start off by, looking to see maybe, I believe there is a spacecraft here that we can easily deal with. Definitely we want something around Duna, but I think that our satellite just requires this orbit here. And so I'm going to go to Sat 1, which has a decent stack here. It's worth quite a deal of money, as you can see. But I would like to more or less get this guy up and going. And we'll put fins on it as well, because there are control issues with this. Control issues that... let's go with the name here. Control issues that, you know, we want to get around, and we'll get plenty of money back. We'll call this 1.1. And I believe this will do it for us. Now, I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with this series quite yet. I think we should really investigate the idea that we're about at our node here, I think. We'll just do that. We should investigate the idea that, you know, we'll go ahead and put this guy up. We don't really need anything advanced. And with the amount of money we're getting, wouldn't be such a bad deal to have. So, I'm going to go ahead, and I'll see you when I get close to that orbit. So, we'll see you here in a bit. Okay, we are now back, and, I've just plotted this course to try and get it out of the way as soon as possible. Get about a 40-second burn here. We should have more than enough fuel. power for us to do this. I mean, this guy should easily get to the moon, I would think. But we got a 40-second burn coming up. I'm gonna burn it 20 seconds or so. I think this is going to be quite excellent. And there we go. We came in at about 12.5 degrees or so, 12.6 rather. And we can make ourselves this minor adjustment as necessary. I'll just do a minor burn here. And there we go. And we lost our node. That's okay. We'll be, this should take care of everything. And with this being a 12-second burn, I think we'll be just dandy. We're about 20 kilometers off or so. You want to be within maybe 1 or 2 meters, or 1 or 2 degrees rather, of this burn. And I'm going to start burning at 6 seconds. Well, I think that we're doing pretty well so far on this. And that we should be fairly close here. Maybe we can get this to be an exact burn. Like so. Got 3109 versus 3609. We could possibly make this a little bit easier on us. I mean, we are more or less about where we want to be. Still plenty of fuel for this guy, which we will be able to return soon. So 18 seconds will do it. And if we are lucky, then this will be easily taken care of. Now, I am possibly going to just focus on the P1 right now. That's partially because P1 needs to be... Ooh. There we go. we need to invest some care in PE1 because, as it turns out, we do have to get into orbit. Let's see where we're at right now. It's actually not a bad little deal. We just got to maintain stability. At 10 seconds. Maybe. Oh, we needed the mystery goo. Well, that is a shame. I have screwed this one up. Just a little bit. Well, at least we know we can get there, and we have plenty of fuel to get back. So I'm going to recover this guy, and I don't really care where we recover it at this point. I'm gonna do something fairly stupid here. Or at least it will be stupid in the next release. There we go. So yeah, I will relaunch this and get it up to speed yet again. And hopefully nothing will go wrong this time. So I will be back here in just a little bit. Okay, I have a replacement satellite available now. And what we will do is we'll go ahead and launch this. I don't necessarily think that we'll get as much out of this, but we should meet all of the requirements. And unfortunately, I do not think we're actually pretty close to the descending node, actually. It may be an okay deal. But we've got this guy here. You can see, if we go down to our satellite here, we have the mystery goo orbit. We just gotta, or mystery goo thing, we just gotta get it into orbit. So the hope is that we can maybe use this to, you know, kick off our satellite here. We've got an RCS based version. And that'll be very helpful for us. We're already, you know, I think we're even going to be good beginning to get this guy going here. We're sort of fighting the drag here. Let's see if maybe our... Oh, we're going the wrong way. I want to go this way. We're still maintaining our time to apoapsis here. Apparently not. We picked the worst place to do this launch. Which means we're going to have to make a major inclination change. more major than what we've already done. But we have plenty of fuel with which to do it. And we will be getting up to orbit fairly soon. Or that is at least the hope. Unfortunately, maybe not soon enough for us. And we are out of fuel. We'll just minimize this inclination here. And of course we have minor balance issues that we're going to have to take care of. Plenty of fuel though. Maybe. Unfortunately, a lot of it was used already in, getting this guy circularized. And I think, we may not be able to do it with this guy either. Which means there will be a little bit of tweaking on my part. If we can get this thing to go, I'm going to... If it doesn't work out, then, I'm going to have to be very careful. We are in orbit, though. So now it's a question of, can we get out to this apoapsis? I'm thinking probably not. I don't know how much delta V I have. So this is going to take some tweaking. I think from this time forward, I am simply going to do some prototyping here. Well, we might have actually had enough. Truth be, in all truth, I had expected to have a lot more delta V than I actually did. But, we got 7 days until the next thing. I don't really understand why this has turned out to be so difficult. I guess it's just the fact that, with the inclination change is a difficult part. And using a reusable stack here, that's one of the things with 1.0 that will be a little bit easier to deal with, is that 1.0 they'll change it to where you can drop your SRBs early on and recover them. At least that's the sense I get. And, well, I should have been paying attention to what I was doing, as we've now lost that. Well, I should have probably paid more attention. I will get this guy up into orbit with the appropriate thing here. We're not going to get 100% out of it, but I'll let you know when I've done that. So I will be back here in a bit. Okay, so we are now back, and this is like the 5th try. I think this will work, though. At least I hope. Fortunately, you know, I've been paying attention to the whole recovery thing, so it's not that big of an issue yet. And we need to get into position here. And we'll burn it 10 seconds or so to get that 9.5. Just come out here, maybe. And do like that. And so far so good. We are still on track here. It's a 3-second burn. Plenty of Delta V, I think. You know, it's gonna be hard to see that. Let's see where we're at right now. 280. Oh, that could be pretty close. Given what we've spent here. I'm going to try to maybe do something about this, because this is not quite where I wanted to be at. We're a little bit past, but I think we are now in line with our ascending node. I can get away with like 100 meters per second, a Delta V. No, it's not going to be possible, I don't think. That's another dud. Well, we'll come back to this here in a bit. You know, it's that 280 meters per second that we do not have is not really going to be worth it. But we do, however, want to get this guy taken care of. I'm not sure why that contract has been so difficult, to tell you the truth. Because it shouldn't be. I guess it's that I'm out of practice. But we'll be in pretty soon, and that means we will probably dock this guy up. In fact, I might go ahead and make the crew transfer happen now. In fact, we will transfer to a new, to that new station that we put down, just to see how well we can land this guy. The thrust is perhaps a little bit of an issue here. But we'll be okay for now. The question really is there anything we can do to perhaps change our inclination here to get it as close to the station as possible, which, by the way, we should be doing right now. We know it's wrong this way. If we can dock on up to the station, then that'll be good. So anyway, I was beginning to ask the question, you know, what could we do, you know, to, maybe are we going to upgrade this? And I don't know yet. I think we're largely safe on our re-entry vehicles, and there will be a ton of parts for us to mess around with. Okay, there we go. I don't think we can get any closer than that. We could, however, as we get in closer here, let's see where about it is that our... It looks like we have this guy coming in at the node, so I'm going to do our inclination correction while we... Well, first of all, we need to... That's actually not bad. Let's see, that's the descending node there. That may be the best we can do. "19 kilometers, we can work with that. Or at least I want to think so. Though what I want really is not that big of an issue. Anyway, part of the reason I wanted to get P1 out of the way is because there may be an upgrade in the works, or there may not be. I will decide when I play around sometime this week, this upcoming week. Certainly the parts stream that's coming up pretty soon is going to be something I'm going to check out. And that'll help me make my decision, I think. But they've moved some things around. We may not have access to any of the parts we want any longer. And really, you know, getting this guy docked or even into orbit is going to be important because we've got 41 days, 36 in fact, until we reach Eve. And it's kind of important that we do this. Let's just see where we are now. 10 kilometers. Okay, well maybe if we... Maybe if we do something kind of like this. Can we pull in and reduce our intercept distance? Yeah, that'll be it. I'll get this guy docked up because it needs to have it happen, and then we're going to have a pretty full station. So really less than a second's time worth of burn here. There we go. That should not be too hard for us to end up doing, I don't think. How close are we anyway? We've got another 9 minutes to Apsis here. I just need to figure out as we come in if we can really... Oh, okay, yeah, we definitely need to slow down. Let's maybe get ourselves... Oh, 1.7 kilometers. Can we do better? .3. Okay, so we're heading in at 0.3 kilometers. And we are within physics range. Finally. Maybe we should pull in the reins, so to speak. .1 kilometers. That is good enough for me. Okay. As close as we're coming in, I'm willing to maybe pull back just a little bit. We're going to do this docking port down here. I think that'll be the way that we'll do this. So there's a question, I guess, if I should continue this or restart the series under the new deal. Certainly, I believe I have a better idea of how to approach something like this. And you know, that's, okay. Maybe we should do something about this so we don't crash into the station. I would very much like not to crash into the station here. And of course controls are now backwards because of my orientation. Probably could have used with some reaction wheels here. But yeah. Um we all knew it was, you know, a matter of time before 1.0 came out, and I am some 20 episodes in. So if I can make it happen to where this guy will continue to do its thing, then I think we should. I mean, the main thing is not to crash here. Our RCS is somewhat underpowered on these landers. You know what, I think we'll be a-okay. And we'll begin moving in as soon as we are permitted to. Certainly, one of the things I want to do is I want to install that mod that gives your Kerbals the ribbons. I think that would be really cool. I think it's called Final Frontier. Because I remember that being a pretty nifty mod. And okay, maybe we can rotate this so that is close. I'm a little bit disturbed by how close that actually is. Well, let's go ahead, go here, and hopefully everything will be... Oh! Oh. Oh, never mind. For some reason, I was under the impression that we were going very, very fast here. This guy's been traveling for 69 days. just need to do some correction here. As right now we're going to completely miss our deal here. Now if we can do this. And there is no telling if we can. Just do a test burn real quick. That's a 13-second burn. Okay, I think we're close enough to where we can make this happen. Get our Eve periapsis down to a reasonable height. Hmm, 63. Maybe a little bit too high. We want to get into orbit. Oh no, don't do that. Let's get it down to 70. Or even 80. We get a little bit of atmospheric drag. And let's not be so hasty as to zoom right on past this, as that would be unfortunate. Now, I believe we have the Eve contract. Let's just make sure we do before we enter Eve, because that is going to be very important that we do not, first of all, fly past Eve. We would actually want to be in some kind of orbit. Effective height is 19 meters. Can we increase that? Because we do need to get into orbit. Landing is not really going to be an issue here, but we do need to get into orbit of some kind. Additionally, we need to get close enough that we can collect science of some kind. Now, we do happen to have the temperature scan, and I think we can start using that as soon as 400 meters in. 400 kilometers. 400 meters is quite a bit. But we need to get pretty close in. Let's just see if we can even see Eve approaching. Gotta be somewhere around here. There's, of course, Gilly. Coming in very, very quickly. But Eve should be somewhere around here. I just don't know where. I just do not seem to be able to see it. You know what? Actually, well, we're not low enough yet. We soon will be. Let's try to get as much science out of this as possible. There we go. Pretty good on power here. So we've got one deal here. We've got the Eve science. Now we're zoomed out quite a bit. Still, Eve is... Oh, there's Eve. We should be, sooner rather than later, beginning to hit our apsis here at 71 kilometers. And we just want to get as close as to get this thing circular. We won't have much fuel to correct this once we're done. That should give us at least part of that. We're in orbit around Eve now. Well, not quite. We need to raise our periapsis just a little bit. Technically, in order to be in orbit around Eve. So, you know what, we'll do that. And then we will come down as soon as we can. Because at this distance, it'll be really easy for us to maintain our, you know, to raise our apoapsis up. There we go. We are now in orbit. I'm going to create a very, very deep re-entry. Just so we come in really insanely fast. let's see if maybe, we can get some charge going while we're at it. Wow, that is quite an interesting approach to the purple planet. Let's just, we got the data from the upper atmosphere. We'll deploy parachutes now, so we can get lower atmospheric science. Let's just turn off SAS. We do not need it. Flying over the lowlands. Very, very good. We should just land on the lowlands now. And you'll see, before too long, this thing will actually slow down to a crawl. It's rather unfortunate. In one sense, anyhow. But then again, I mean, this is... For an atmospheric probe, you know, you do want it to come down pretty slowly. And landing on Eve isn't really hard. It's getting off of Eve, which I'm not going to attempt now, of course. We can't. I don't have any rockets on it. But assuming that we did, then, it would still take me a while. It takes a lot of thrust to get off of Eve because it's actually got greater gravity than Kerbin. And then on top of that, I better slow down the time warp just a little bit so that we can get our surface data. And this was 1,500 meters above the surface. And you can see it's, most of this time we're waiting is going to be spent on, you know, sedately leaving, or, you know, sedately wafting, rather, through the atmosphere. Still, nothing here. Perhaps we will send an astronaut to Eve one day and return science from it. But, you know, really, this is good for us, because, you know, I'm back in the black now. I've gained a little bit of money, despite the fact that I've wasted so much of it on that damn satellite that I thought was going to be easy. But, yeah, we'll deal with that when the time comes. And hopefully, you know, we won't slow down much more, because, you know, this thing, part of its virtue was that it was so lightweight that, you know, we got plenty of Delta V out of that one tank. But, you know, we really do have to be careful with this. You know, this... I should have probably opened parachutes a little bit later. But you never know when these things will go wrong. That's the thing. But let's observe the Evian landscape. Although we're in the lowlands, it looks like we've landed in somewhat of a hilly, maybe even mountainous area. And, you know, that's not a, that's not a bad little deal there. My only real regret with, you know, the release here is that, you know, I never get around to visiting other planets. It takes quite a bit, and I think it's just that there's so much you can do in between now. But you try to pack in as much as you can. But there we go. We are about to land. And let's just get that last bit of science. You know, I think this has gone pretty well so far. We have gained so much science from this, and probably a fair amount of money, too. Now, granted, not really enough to... Oh, I mean, we're 200k ahead. They want us to build another orbital station for 48 science. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to be very interested to see if, you know, after seeing the stream and after playing around with the new KSP zone, if maybe we can update to 1.0. But until then, this has been Thy Lord Root, and I will see you later.